Leviticus 19. Now that we're done with the sex rules and the blood rules, it's time for God to give us his sloppy seconds. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the entire assembly of Israel and say to them, 'Be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must respect your mother and father, and you must observe my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make metal gods for yourselves. I am the Lord your God.'" Haven't we done this already? I mean, if God has to repeat the commandments, does that mean he's going to start repeating all of those millions of mini commandments too? I mean, no wonder the Bible is so damn long. And why does God have to keep reminding us who he is? Does he think we forgot who's talking? Pretty sure I'm familiar with the disembodied voice that keeps threatening to murder me. When you sacrifice a fellowship offering to the Lord, sacrifice it in such a way that it will be accepted on your behalf. It shall be eaten on the day you sacrifice it, or on the next day. Anything left over until the third day must be burned up. If any of it is eaten on the third day, it is impure and will not be accepted. Whoever eats it will be held responsible because they have desecrated what is holy to the Lord. They must be cut off from their people. So the murdered animals must be eaten on day 1 or day 2. If you keep anything in the fridge longer than that, it's not just impure, it means you have to be excommunicated. Because God doesn't care about slavery, but leftovers can only last so long. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Do not go over your vineyard a second time or pick up the grapes that have fallen. Leave them for the poor and the foreigner. I am the Lord your God. Oh, thanks, God. The poor and the foreigner are allowed to eat grapes that fell on the ground. Sure, God could just poof a full gourmet meal into existence, but why use your power for good? The outsiders will just have to make do with unwanted grapes. You want to create atheists? This is how you create atheists. Anyway, let's just zip through the other commandments. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not deceive one another. Do not swear falsely by my name, and so profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You know, I have to say, this is good. This is fast. This is the pace the entire Bible should be going at. That said, come on. Do not steal? Remember when Rachel stole her father's images in Genesis 31? Or when the Israelite women looted the Egyptians in Exodus 11? And do not lie? What about when the Egyptian midwives lied to Pharaoh in Exodus 1? There are exceptions to every rule, including these. I swear, no one back in the day ever read the Bible straight through. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight. Well, that got specific. How often were employers not paying their workers that God felt the need to include wage theft on the list? Bernie Sanders is God. I knew it. Do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block in front of the blind, but fear your God. I am the Lord. Why are people cursing the deaf? What did they do to you? And who's playing pranks on the blind by putting literal blocks in their path? That's not funny. That's just mean. And if someone's mad about a disability, God's right there. Blame him. It's his fault. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. See, this is how you know Republicans who brag about their Christian faith on the campaign trail have never read the Bible. Perverting justice is their entire platform. Showing favoritism to people who are great, so not poor, is what they do. And you know what? We absolutely should show partiality to the poor. They need the help. Why wouldn't God want to help them? Give them a little boost. Everyone else will be just fine. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. No one at Fox News is Christian, I see. Don't put your neighbors' lives in danger. The entire pandemic got worse because conservative Christians refused to get vaccinated or live stream their services for a little while or wear a mask to help their neighbor. They didn't care about their neighbor's lives. Do not hate a fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your neighbor frankly so you will not share in their guilt. You know, for a group of people who have become known for what they're against, just think about how many Bible passages they have to ignore to justify their behavior. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Love your neighbor as yourself. In Leviticus, no less. Nice suggestion, God. Not sure why that one wasn't included in the commandments, to be honest. I have to assume the next rules are going to be even more sensible since God is now going after the obvious. Keep my decrees. Do not mate different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with two kinds of seed. Do not wear clothing woven of two kinds of material. No crossbreeding. No strategic planting on the farm, much less crossbreeding plants, which is going to become very important in a few millennia. And no clothing that's not 100% whatever. People have waged wars over this book, and God's just making up pointless rules as he goes along. He's now killing people over shirts that are 50% polyester. If a man sleeps with a female slave who is promised to another man, but who has not been ransomed or given her freedom, there must be due punishment. Yet they are not to be put to death, because she had not been freed. The man, however, must bring a ram to the entrance to the tent of meeting for a guilt offering to the Lord. With the ram of the guilt offering, the priest is to make atonement for him before the Lord for the sin he has committed, and his sin will be forgiven. Let me translate that for you. If a man rapes his slave, he must be punished. Not for raping her, but because another man owns her. So to make up for it, he has to kill a ram. In that story, the man did all the bad things. Yet the woman and the animal are the ones who suffered. I just want to make that clear because it's totally effed up. When you enter the land and plant any kind of fruit tree, regard its fruit as forbidden. For 3 years you are to consider it forbidden. It must not be eaten. In the 4th year, all its fruit will be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. But in the 5th year, you may eat its fruit. In this way your harvest will be increased. I am the Lord your God. There is no logic to this one. Year 1, forbidden. Year 2, forbidden. Year 3, forbidden. Year 4, forbidden, but holy, but don't eat it. Year 5, God says he's full, so have at it. But if a grape falls down on the ground, don't touch it. The poor finally get to eat in year 5. What else you got, God? Because these rules are just getting silly. Do not eat any meat with the blood still in it. Do not practice divination or seek omens. Do not cut the hair at the sides of your head or clip off the edges of your beard. Do not cut your bodies for the dead or put tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. No raw meat, no fortune tellers, no mullets or buzz cuts, no beard trimmings, no tattoos. This has all the energy of a high schooler who has to write a 10-page paper but ran out of things to say on page 3, so he's just trying to fill the space with anything. Do not degrade your daughter by making her a prostitute, or the land will turn to prostitution and be filled with wickedness. I wasn't gonna do that, but damn. Apparently this was happening everywhere. What does that even mean though? If one dad tries to sell off his daughter, then everyone will follow? Is every dad here horrible? And why is there no punishment for the fathers in these cases? And why are we sex shaming people? What if the daughters want to become prostitutes on their own? It's their body, who cares? Regulate it and make it safer, God, so that these people don't have to go underground. Let them keep their OnlyFans pages. Anyway, remember that God treats a dad who sells his daughter into the illicit sex trade less harshly than someone who leaves meat in the fridge for 3 days and is excommunicated forever. I am so done with this. All right, you know what? Let's get through the final batch. Observe my Sabbaths and have reverence for my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in the presence of the aged. Show respect for the elderly, and revere your God. I am the Lord. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales and honest weights, an honest ephah and an honest hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. Keep all my decrees and all my laws and follow them. I am the Lord. What a weird mix. No psychics, respect your elders, be nice to outsiders, and don't try to screw over your customers. There is no organization here. It's just everything God forgot in the previous dozens of chapters. Or said already, because he's just repeating himself now. I always heard the Bible was a guidebook for life, but most of the rules in this book are either petty or pointless. You can't seriously point to the good stuff, like love thy neighbor, without acknowledging all the crazy stuff around it. Whenever someone cites the Bible in a good way, always be sure to look a few verses before and after, because you are almost guaranteed to find something insane.